Welcome everyone, this is Chef Mark. I'm at Total Floors and I have the Monogram Hearth Oven preheating behind me. Today I want to talk about something I see in the wild. And what I mean by that is I have the honor of going into our clients' homes for appliance factory fine lines and working with people to show them how to get the most out of their appliances. And the common complaint I get is that oven, it burns everything. Well, I think that's user error. So I wanted to make a video to show you where some of you who own Monogram Hearth Ovens might be going wrong and how to correct that issue. So let's make a pizza and I'll show you some of the issues you might be experiencing in your own home. Then we'll go back and I'll show you how to get a perfect pizza every time. Let's get started. All right, let's make a pizza. I got my paddle. I like cornmeal to keep it from sticking. I got in a great debate on my YouTube channel with a pizza maker from Chicago, and he says, don't use cornmeal, use semolina flour. When you're using cornmeal, you're adding corn to pizza. That's incorrect. And I appreciate that. I get where he's coming from, but I prefer cornmeal because it's non-glutinous, it doesn't stick, and it acts like little ball bearings. It keeps your pizza from rolling, sticking to the paddle rather. Docker. I just use a little canned sauce, like a nice premium sauce with just a little salt. I don't like a cooked sauce, I like a raw sauce. Do a little cheese, some pepperoni. I like some pepperoncini. They're spicier than they look. All right, and then a key step, a little anchoring cheese. Just a little tiny cheese on top to keep the ingredients from sliding off. 1100 on the dome, and I'm gonna do 700 on the stone. Dome is on. Here we go. Okay, this pizza's nice and hot. This should only take a few minutes. Red Rocks concert? Oh my gosh, no, I'm at work. Hold on one second, hold on. Oh my gosh, I haven't been to a Red Rocks concert in forever. I can't wait. I think that cloud looks like a bird. I think I can make that work. Let's order HM05 mic 2. What is this thing? I legitimately don't know. Oh, and I'll see you at 7 o'clock for the show at Red Rocks. Awesome. Oh wait, I gotta get the pizza. Aw man, this oven, it burns everything. What did I do wrong and what could I do better? Let's find out. All right, let's make another pizza. Let me show you how I like to use this appliance to get a great pizza. All right, here we go. Cornmeal, and that will prevent sticking going into the oven. Sauce. And with the cheese. And I have my new pizza ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna show you some techniques to make sure that we don't have a repeat of our last pizza. Okay, it's sliding beautifully. In we go. What I like to do is get the pizza about halfway off the paddle and then give it a nice pull, keeping as much cornmeal on the paddle so we don't overload the oven with cornmeal, which can start to burn if you're not careful. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand right here and I'm not gonna go anywhere. Because if I steer the pizza, this is gonna go much quicker and much more accurately. This is unlike baking a pizza in the standard oven, which might get up to 500 or 550 degrees. You don't have that direct heat, even if you're using a pizza stone. So this is an appliance that you have to use like you're in a pizzeria with an open hearth oven. As soon as you can get it and turn, and here's how I turn. I like to have my hand coming up on the peel as opposed to like down like this. And then it's just a little flick. So all I've done is I've rotated it. If you must walk away with the hearth oven, I recommend turning the dome off. That will just leave the stone cooking it and will prevent that excess heat coming from the top and burning your pizza. I like to do this manually. There are some preheats. I have this at 1100 on the dome and 700 on the stone, and it really depends on how many pizzas you're making. So if you're making pizza for 20 people, crank it up because it's going to absorb quite a bit of heat every time you add a new pizza. But if you're just doing a pizza for yourself, or maybe you're doing a frozen pizza, turn it down. You know, something a little thicker dough, I would do more like 500 on the stone and maybe 700 or 800 on the dome. You can use the presets, they work great, but I prefer to adjust it manually. If you get an edge that's starting to overcook, which I'm not, but if I were, I would leave that off the stone and onto the edge, or what I call the piano, the level there, and that'll prevent that from overcooking. We're almost ready. I'm not getting distracted by my phone. I'm not getting distracted by the weather. I'm not getting distracted by anything else. What I'm doing is I'm gonna stand here and give this pizza my full attention for the couple of minutes that it takes for this pizza to cook fully. So here we have a couple of different pizzas. We have the distracted walk away pizza. And then we have the pizza where I stood there and I drove the appliance and I cared for the ingredients in the pizza the entire time. This went much faster than this pizza. This pizza took a while. It was hard to walk by, in all honesty, check on it and not touch it. It really did take a little bit of discipline to have this happen. Even though these were at the same temperature, I was able to drive the doneness based on just tapping that dome button, and you're just really caring for the ingredients. The best way to get the most out of your Monogram Hearth Oven is to pretend like you're working in a professional pizzeria. You're gonna stand there and monitor your pizza. And it's funny because I was at a home and I watched the son, who was probably a teenager, put his pizza in and immediately get distracted. And then he came back and I saved this pizza from burning. But that was the inspiration for this video. So I hope this helps. This requires practice. This is not an appliance that does the work for you. It's one of those things where it is a labor of love. So when you make a great pizza and you're really proud of it, then it pays off. And that's the magic of the Monogram Hearth Oven. Pizzeria quality pizza at home, that's the magic of the Monogram Hearth Oven. I'm Chef Mark. Thanks for tuning in.